Fabletics just Shein at this point? 2-inch inseam, that's underwear. Because the bikini coverage here is so narrow. Is it worth it? So honestly, these look pretty good. Fingers crossed. These leggings will not give you the Kardashian booties of your dreams. Fabletics partnered with Khloé Kardashian again to bring us the Khloé Kardashian x Fabletics V2. I did review the first version last year, and this collection is very different from the last one. It almost feels like I don't really understand Khloé's influence in this. The first rendition of Khloé Kardashian's Fabletics collab was very like outdoorsy performance and like just didn't really, you know, honestly, I've never watched the Kardashians, so you tell me if that's her vibe. And I actually wasn't going to review this new collection, but I got too many requests from you guys specifically to try the underwear leggings, which we have tried many an underwear legging on this channel, and I truly don't understand how years later brands are still doing this. This whole collection definitely feels a little bit behind, but there were some pieces that intrigued me. So I bought most of the pieces and we're gonna do an honest review. Fabletics has always been an enigma to me because I honestly don't understand how their model works. Besides them basically locking you into an activewear subscription, like first of all, don't we have enough subscriptions in the world? Second of all, who needs a subscription for activewear? And I have gotten sucked into the subscription mostly because every time I buy something from Fabletics or one of their many sister companies, Fabletics Scrubs, Yeti is also a branch of Fabletics. I think Rihanna's Fenty is also a branch of Fabletics. Is Fabletics just Shein at this point? Like an actual discussion we need to have, because all of the pieces I bought today were like $10. That is literally Shein pricing. And they have like so many little companies underneath them. There's just like something going on with Fabletics. Anyways, every time I buy from one of their companies, I sign up for the membership and then have to cancel it. But if you forget to cancel it or forget to skip your membership, they'll charge you like 60 bucks or something. I think it's probably gone up. And then there's like no way for you to get out of it. And that $60 credit, you can't even like cash in for like most of the pieces. Like I did that one time and I was like, maybe I'll be able to like cash it in for something. They had like some winter coats that looked interesting. So I like tried to get one of those, and then basically none of the items I wanted actually qualified for the membership. So don't do that. Anyways, like I was saying, the pricing for all of Fabletics stuff is insane. Like the leggings I bought today, I'll list all of the prices that I actually paid. So I got 7 pieces for under $90, which is crazy. And that's another thing I don't like about Fabletics. All of their pricing is fake. Like why was the sports bra 80% off? 80% off. Like at least make it a little bit believable and give me like 20% off for being a member. But yeah, I'm not a big Fabletics girl because I just think their practices are a little bit shady. But anyways, I will be giving my honest review of this collection. Honestly, their seamless scrunch leggings have some under glute compression. They have a scrunch. I love a seamless legging. So I'm willing to be won over by these. Anyways, if you're new here, my name is Catherine. I review a lot of activewear. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure to do so. It's free. And give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying so far. And of course, this review is not sponsored. I bought this all with my own money. So let's get into the review. I also will say this took like 3 weeks to get to me. So they were backed up with orders and a lot of the stuff was sold out. I got it before it sold out, but like it was sold out within like a couple days. Okay, these are the leggings I wanted to try the most. We have the Fabletics x Khloé high-waisted sweetheart leggings, and I got a size small, and these were $12 because they have their like 2 for $12 legging deal, which is insane. And these are the leggings you guys wanted me to try because they are the underwear style legging. Honestly, I haven't just tried a regular Fabletics activewear in a while, so I'm interested to see my thoughts, but my first impressions are actually that the fabric is very soft. It has a really nice brushed feel to it. Here's a close-up of that fabric. Soft, brushed, good stretch to it. So they are a high waist, and I'm also impressed to see that this entire underwear area is actually double thickness bonded fabric. So when you bond 2 pieces of the fabric together, basically you take one piece, another piece, glue them together, and it creates this kind of structured quality that helps just smooth everything out and actually give some compression. I've seen a lot of brands trying this underwear style and kind of touting the ability to like have that lower tummy control, because basically exactly where the lower tummy is, you have that double thickness of fabric. So it's the ultimate like tummy control legging, except the drawback is it literally looks like you're wearing underwear on the outside of your leggings. So is it worth it? You guys let me know. This is the first brand I've seen do the bonded version of this, so it really does have some good compression there. Anyways, we have a seamless waistband. There are no seams at the top or anything. It just has that bonded material all the way up to the top. We have that kind of bikini shape in the front. It does get pretty narrow at the bottom. The bonding actually stops in the middle there, so we'll see if that actually accentuates the lower tummy tummy area. We do have an extended crotch gusset, and in the bikini does not go through the gusset, so that might help not like creating like a triple wedgie down there. And then in the back, we have the little thong outline. Again, not really my taste, and this style has been around for a while, and I can confidently say I have never seen anyone at the gym wearing this style. So I don't know what made Fabletics think that this was a style they wanted to replicate, because it doesn't really seem to be that popular, but they did. I believe these are a 27-inch inseam. The material is an 82% polyester, 18% spandex, comes in size 2XS to 4XL, so pretty good size range. Minimal details otherwise. Let's try these on. All right, I was actually holding out some hope for these, but that is quickly diminished. This fabric is simultaneously too tight and too loose, and really just provides no structure. So anyways, here are the leggings. First thing I've noticed is that you guys have also seen me review Kylie Swim on this channel, and Kylie Swim, the coverage for the parts down there was like this wide, which it just seems like the Kardashians don't really know that like most of our bodies are wider than like this thickness down there, because the bikini coverage here is so narrow, and I don't even struggle to like fit into like most underwear or like bikinis or things like that, but this is quite narrow. And if this fabric had the compression that I feel like they were aiming for it to have, that would create like a little like 4 camel situation down there. So thankfully the fabric does not have that, but I still think it looks a little bit funny just how narrow it is. So I see what they were aiming for with this bonded material. I think it actually does create a flattering waistband, but this fabric just has that kind of like flimsy feel. I really like a lightweight, soft brushed fabric if it has a little bit of hold onto the body, but you can just see with the amount of like wrinkling that this has and just kind of like overall like sagginess, it just doesn't have that kind of like contouring fit that I like a legging to have. So this is the kind of legging that I feel like would easily just slide down. Besides that, we actually have quite a nice high rise. Goes to the smallest natural point of my waist, not cutting in anywhere because again, it's not super tight, and it does have that bonded fabric up until right here, so you don't actually get that lower tummy compression benefit because it stops a little bit too soon. So it kind of defeats the purpose for like compromising for the underwear aesthetic when you're not even getting the benefits of having that like extra compression area. I do appreciate that the seams are not super noticeable. They are the same color as the leggings at least, but yeah, the style really isn't for me. Overall, kind of a low compression just because this fabric is just not doing what it should be doing, but it also is simultaneously like really tight in the knee area. It is seamless along the sides, which I like. We will squat test all of these because I do kind of have concerns with how thin this fabric is. And then we have the built-in thong detail in the back. So again, I have seen similar styles like this. These are Alphalete, and they also have that thong detail. I didn't like these either because again, I'm not really a fan of that thong detail, but these actually made the glutes look really good because it kind of contoured them. You're not really getting any contouring, any scrunch out of this or anything. It just kind of sits on the top and just kind of looks like the underwear line effect. So although I really hate the style of these, which I already knew, I was hoping to at least get some like functional compression benefits, but I'm not really getting that either. Peach, you wanna say hi? You wanna say hi? Miss Peach would like to say hello to everyone. How are you? Is it lunchtime? It's not lunchtime. It's not lunchtime. That was kind of our pet fur test as well. It does attract a little bit of lint. Unfortunately, because these are so thin, I don't expect a lot of cellulite coverage. And booty scale, there's really not much going on. Medium on the booty scale, not really helping, not really hurting. Full length view, I think these are about a 26-inch inseam. I will put the inseam at the end of the screen where they're kind of an ankle length on me. So we'll see if Khloé can redeem herself. But I like the color scheme going on. I just functionally, these leggings are just not it. I know they would slide. I know they would snag at the gym. So these are a pass. I'm sorry, I just had to take one more moment for just how narrow. This just looks so funny. It's so thin. Compared to every other legging that I have with this kind of detail, it just, everything about this looks wrong. Khloé really said, get your coochie snatched, because that's what's happening here. To go with those leggings, I got the PureLuxe Longline Low Impact Bra. I got a size small and this was $13.99, so actually more expensive than the leggings. It's that same soft brushed material that the leggings are made out of that I did like. I wasn't really impressed with a lot of the bras in this collection. They all looked to be very low impact, very low coverage. I usually like to see a balance of a low impact, low coverage bra and something with a little bit more coverage for the larger bust. We have a V neckline. We have some seam details kind of coming going into the center here. We have the Fabletics logo kind of front and center. Fabletics is still doing the kind of like silver vinyl logos. I prefer like a tonal silicone logo at this point. But again, if Fabletics is doing designs that I was seeing like 3 years ago, it makes sense that they're going to be a little bit behind on the logos as well. We have thin tank straps that transition into adjustable spaghetti straps in the back. I love that they're adjustable. We do have 3-hook closure in the back. I don't really find 3-hook closure to be super necessary for a low impact bra. Really, I like to reserve this for like a super compressive running bra. We do have removable cups. Let's see how they are. Okay, they're actually pretty good. I really like these like ventilated style cups. They do feel kind of similar to like a Buff Bunny sports bra pad. Good shape and they're not crinkled, so that is good. And they do have a solid elastic band along the inside of the sports bra that should provide some good underbust support. So let's try it on. All right, here is the sports bra and I am kind of liking it, kind of disliking it at the same time. It's pretty true to size, but I would say it runs just a teeny bit big overall because I am on the tightest hook and it is a little bit loose along the bra band. So if you're in between sizes, I would size down. We do have that elastic that goes along the bottom. It is slightly long line, but not really. If you have a larger bust, you won't really consider this super long line. We have this scooping V neckline. Overall, low to medium coverage. There's definitely a cleavage moment happening here, and it is a pretty flattering shape. The support is low to medium as well. I would say this is definitely better for smaller cup sizes because although I am fitting into this, as soon as I lean over, I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing this doing any activity where I would be jumping around a lot or leaning over a lot, which kind of takes out most activity that I would wear this for. So not super functional for me. We do have good side boob coverage. The material is soft, and because it has extra thickness being a sports bra, it is holding me in. I do really like that the straps are adjustable. I don't really find this little hook closure to be necessary, again, because it is a more low impact bra. I think that could have been left out, and I also wish the straps had an option to crisscross. That just would have helped them stay up a little bit more. So for the price, I think this bra really isn't that bad. It's just definitely suited for slightly smaller cup sizes, and I wish there was a better pair of bottoms to match it. All right, next are the second pair of leggings that I was very excited to try. We have the seamless scrunch high-waisted leggings. Again, I got a size small, and these were also $12. And right off the bat, we can see some booty out pouchings and some under glute compression. So this Fabletics is actually not too far behind with, because I'm seeing a lot of this style of legging right now. We see it with Define, their Impact leggings, Buff Bunny Miracle Seamless, Lazuli Sculpt Seamless. There are a lot of under glute compression leggings. So far, these are actually not feeling too bad. We have a sewn-on ribbed waistband, and it does have 2 layers of compression. It has kind of a finer rib at the bottom and then a little layer of a little bit extra compression at the top. Here is that compression, and then the rest of the legging is made of kind of a softer, sleek seamless. So I am liking the feel of this. These are seamless leggings, so we have no front seam. We do have a slightly extended oval gusset. And then in the back, we have curved glute seams. So that is one pro of sewing a waistband onto a legging, because you can kind of get that little curved effect instead of just flat across. And we actually have a hidden scrunch with an elastic on the inside. So you do get a slight scrunch effect. This should sit between the glutes well. I have to say, I don't normally see this kind of scrunch on a seamless legging. Normally this is the kind of scrunch we see on a regular kind of cut and sew leggings. So I'm interested to try that. Very stretchy fabric over the glutes. And then we have some ribbed compression underneath the glutes to give a little bit of contour. And here we can see that scrunch up close and see how it has a little bit of give to it. So honestly, these look pretty good. Fingers crossed. Let's try them on. All right, I'm in the middle of getting these on, and first of all, very soft and stretchy. I just don't have the scrunch up the glutes yet, so I always like to show how we get that settled. Okay, starting out with the front of these leggings. Solid high rise, hitting right at the small of the waist again. I got a size small, which is my normal size, and they are definitely fitting, but they're not super compressive. Normally, I see a little bit more compression out of a ribbed waistband like this. They kind of remind me of like a Gymshark style fit, where the waist just is a little bit more boxy straight up and down. So because of that, overall, the compression on these is very low. These are super thin and stretchy. I actually really like how soft they are, but I would have preferred a little bit more hold. And the waistband is also about a low compression, even though I do feel like it should be more of a medium compression if it really was kind of snatching in the way that I think it's meant to. So it should have a little bit more compression than this. Anyways, we do have no front seam. And then we move to the back, and honestly, not bad. I would make some changes, but I actually am pretty impressed. So first of all, I really like the contour that the seams have above the glutes. I think these are actually more of a short glute friendly legging, because when I put the scrunch up my cheeks, like I showed you guys, it brings the ribbed contour detailing a little bit too much onto my glutes when they kind of should be going under my glutes in kind of like an under glute compression moment. But this is really more of like a visual contour and not an actual like compression lifting legging. So this little ribbed area provides no actual compression. It just kind of outlines the glutes a little bit in a subtle but flattering way. So I do still like it, and I think it kind of adds to the effect a little bit, but I was kind of expecting more of a glute compression legging, and that is definitely not what it is. The scrunch could be sitting in my glutes a little bit more. I think because these are such a short glute friendly legging, the more I put them into my glutes, the worse it looks. So I'm gonna give them a medium to high on the booty scale. Very stretchy along the glutes, definitely not squishing them down. We have that scrunch, that contour. You will get a little cellulite coverage because of that ribbed area, but I wouldn't consider these a totally cellulite proof legging. And these are a seamless legging, which means you always get a good amount of vertical stretch. Still about a 7/8 length on me. So overall, honestly, not bad. I think this style is a little bit in your face, but not nearly as much as the underwear contour, and this actually is working to flatter your body. But I would have liked just a little bit more compression out of the leggings, because all of the fabrics we've tried today just feel very thin and flimsy, and I just would like a little bit more durability. So I just looked back at the Fabletics website, and they definitely said that this was an underglute compression, and I just have to say it is just not compressing at all. I can insert a photo of a legging that actually has some underglute compression, but the fabric is just way too thin to add any compression to it. So unfortunately, I do feel like that was a little bit of false advertising. They're also calling the scrunch like an innovative booty scrunch, and I'm like, you guys are like several years behind on these. Like, innovation where? Anyways, these leggings will not give you the Kardashian booties of your dreams, unfortunately. To go with these seamless leggings, I don't actually know if there was a sports bra to go with, but this is the sleek seamless zip crop top. Got a size small, and this was $8.99. Like, actually, how are they making them so cheap? There's affordable activewear in like the $20 to $30 range, which is like, okay, you know, affordable. And then there's like $8 where I'm kind of like, why? It's a little bit concerningly cheap. So I kind of thought this would have a sports bra structure, but it's really just a crop top, which is fine. I'll just have to wear a sports bra underneath it, but I really wish this was a sports bra in itself. So we have a mock neckline, full zip up the front. It is just a thin seamless material here, so if you don't wear anything underneath, you will definitely risk a nippage, maybe even sheerness. There is a little bit of compression right under the bust area, so I feel like they could have built in a little bit of a bra. You can see here there is that little compression area right under the bust, and then in the back we have that Fabletics logo and just a simple ribbed panel down the back. It does zip fully up and down. Let's try it on. Here we are with the zip top. So first thing I notice is, I don't know if it's really a locking zipper, but it's actually staying in place pretty well if you don't want to zip it all the way up. So you can kind of wear it halfway zipped, or you can zip it up fully and have that mock neck effect. Overall, pretty true to size. If you're in between, I'd probably size down, get a little bit extra compression out of it, just because it's so thin and stretchy. And again, I really would recommend wearing a sports bra under it, because I just anticipate that this fabric is going to be pretty sheer. We just kind of have a free end zipper on the bottom, so I would be concerned with chafing here. A little bit of that ribbed contour detailing, and then just very simple in the back. I think they actually did have a seamless bra, I just didn't get it, but I would pair this with that seamless bra to have it be like one cohesive look, but I probably wouldn't get too much use out of this top by itself. All right, we do have one more outfit. We have the PureLuxe high-waisted TLC shorts. They came in a 4-inch and a 2-inch inseam. Very glad that the 4-inch was still in stock, because I was not about to do a 2-inch inseam. My thighs, they don't do that. 2-inch inseam, that's underwear. I also like checked my old review videos, and I guess I really just haven't reviewed that much Fabletics activewear on my channel, but Fabletics is still doing front seams in 2025. Like, why are we still doing a front seam? First impressions of the shorts, I'm honestly not super impressed with these. They definitely have less elements to them than the leggings. And also right down the middle of the front seam, I'm getting some seam issues. So definitely some of that like $12 construction is coming out here. It also has that kind of like chemically like Play-Doh smell that sometimes I get with activewear, which is interesting. That's definitely not a deal breaker. You can just wash it and it goes away, but just thought I would mention it. Anyways, these were $12.99. I got a size small. They have that similar bonded structure that the underwear style leggings had, except obviously they don't have that going down the front, but they do have a little V dip down in the waistband, so maybe some tummy control here. You can kind of see the structure of that bonded waistband there. The bonding is only in the front. The back half of the waistband does not have that, but they also have a pretty sizable pocket on the inside of the waistband on the back side, so that is nice to see. Some slightly curved seams in the back. These shorts do have a triangle gusset, and for some reason these just don't feel as nice as the leggings, even though they're the same material, so let's try them on. All right, here are the shorts, and I just feel like they have some elements really going for them, but the fabric's just not doing the design any favors. So starting out with the waist, I'm getting a solid high, maybe slightly above a high rise. We have that bonded material in the front of the waistband, which I think is really great to have this only in the front because that kind of gives you the tummy control without being too snug all around. But because again, this fabric is just so thin and kind of flimsy, it just doesn't really do anything. So kind of a bummer, but I do like that it's there. I like that there's no top band. We do have a front seam, and I swear I thought Fabletics had no front seam leggings. Like, did I just make that up? I guess I just thought like everyone had no front seam at this point. But with the way that they're saying that they like innovated the booty scrunch on those leggings, I'm calling it now. In like 2 years, they're gonna have a no front seam legging and they're gonna call it innovative anti-camel toe technology, because that's what everyone likes to say who does a no front seam legging, as if they invented it when they definitely did not. So we'll check back in if they ever have a no front seam legging. So we do have that front rise seam. Really not causing too many problems though, so that's good. These do come in a 2-inch and a 4-inch inseam. I got the 4-inch because a 2-inch inseam on me is just a crime. The fit on these, like I wanna say I could size down, but I know the seams would start cutting into me if I did, just because the seams are actually hitting my body at a good place and maybe even digging in like a tiny bit, but the rest of it just feels like it's not hugging me enough. So I know it's a fabric issue. Low compression, no seam across the back. I did already squat test in these and they're all kind of sheer, which again, to be expected. And then we have the back. We do have that pretty large phone pocket in the back. Let's see if I can actually fit my phone in it. I just feel like this isn't really a comfortable place to put a phone, but it fits. It's just a little bit of an awkward place to put a phone, but I'm all for adding pockets and it doesn't like negatively affect the design. And I was just checking the website on these again, and it says that these have a hidden scrunch, and I swear that they do not. Compared to the hidden scrunch that's on the seamless leggings, that's like actually elasticated in there. You can see that there's an elastic. I'm just not getting any effect. I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I'm not really convinced that there's actually a hidden scrunch in these. If there's anything in these, I wouldn't call it a hidden scrunch. I'd say overall medium on the booty scale. I don't really think it's doing a lot of enhancing. And I would have liked to see a 6-inch option for the shorts. The design itself isn't bad, but I don't like a front seam and the fabric is just a little bit off for me. So they are calling this a hidden scrunch. It really doesn't have, like, I mean, like maybe a little bit of give to it, but that doesn't look like any other hidden scrunch I've ever seen. Maybe a little bit, but don't all seams have stretch? That has some stretch too. So like maybe the tiniest bit of a hidden scrunch, but honestly, not enough for me to actually call this a hidden scrunch. I would have preferred the scrunch that they had on the seamless leggings on these. Then we could maybe call it a hidden scrunch. Lastly, we have the PureLuxe Plunge Low Impact Bra. Size small, this was a $10.99. Again, all of the bras from the first collection really was giving like she's going camping, and this is giving a Pilates yoga aesthetic. So I definitely feel like this is a little bit more on brand for the Kardashians. Anyways, we have a classic twist style sports bra. I am not a big fan of sports bras like this because I just don't really find them very functional. I also do have a larger cup size for a size small, so I just know that I probably will be spilling out of this one. So it's made of that PureLuxe fabric. It has a soft feel to it. It is a true twist in the front, so you can twist and untwist it. We have removable cups, skinny little racer back, and then a cute little strappy detail in the back. This could definitely be cute for smaller cup sizes. We'll see if it works for me. Let's try it on. All right, here we are with the twist front top. I've just seen so many of these tops in the past like 2 or so years, and I honestly am never really reaching for them. If I like a twist front top, I like one that has an actual band along the bottom. This is just definitely giving swim top, and I just don't love it. I know this style of top has been very popular. It's just not for me. So we do have that twist front detail. Overall low to medium coverage. I've seen ittier bittier coverage, but still not getting that support. So I probably wouldn't recommend this for larger busts. For me, I know this style of top, I constantly fall out of the middle. I'm constantly having to tuck my girls back in. So it's just not super functional for me, even though it does have good side boob coverage. And at least it's not a halter. Sometimes these tops are halters. And then in the back, we have that kind of T-strap design with those skinnier straps, and it does intentionally come up in the back, which I don't mind, but it kind of takes away from some of the support, and overall it's just definitely a low support. So no one's buying this bra and saying I'm gonna go running in this one, but it's just not really my style, and honestly there weren't really a lot of bras in the collection that had much more coverage than this, so this is kind of what we're working with. And I did just get one more piece for fun. I think I got most of the pieces that launched, at least like the ones that were like a big deal, but I also picked up the sheer ribbed shrug. So boleros and shrugs are definitely in right now as well. So this is made of a super stretchy ribbed material. material. It actually is pretty soft. And then, oh, see, we actually have a nice quality logo going on in this one. So here we can see the fabric up close, and then the logo is this raised tonal silicone, which just kind of elevates the look a little bit. This one was $12.99. It does have a little mock neck, which I was worried about, but it's very stretchy. And it does say it's the sheer rib shrug. So it is going to be sheer. We do have thumb holes, and it's basically just going to be a little sleeve moment, but honestly, I love a shrug, so let's try it on. And lastly, we have the sheer ribbed shrug, and it's in the name. It's meant to be sheer. You can definitely see what you're wearing underneath it. I honestly would have liked this one if it was even like less coverage along the top, but I guess it's just kind of like trying to have that little peekaboo moment. So it is actually a really soft fabric that has a lot of stretch to it. The theme of the day is thin, stretchy, kind of sheer fabrics, I guess. But for this piece, it definitely works. There were some other pieces in the collection that I didn't get. I just did a quick peruse of the website, and there was like a little dress. I think this could be cute with the dress, but I definitely see this as more of like a lifestyle piece. It doesn't really feel very gym friendly. It kind of feels more like a sweater. We do have thumb holes. The sleeves are nice and long. It has kind of a little scrunched shoulder detail, but I feel like they needed to like fully commit to the scrunch because this just looks kind of like random bunching. So I'm not really loving that. And then we have the back. The back actually has a good amount of coverage, covers most of that sports bra. Loving the little summer color palette going on. But yeah, I think this piece is cute. Definitely more of a lifestyle piece. Okay guys, that is everything from the Khloé Kardashian x Fabletics round 2. This collection definitely just makes more sense to me to be like a Khloé collab versus the first collection, which again was just giving like outdoor chic. It just like didn't make any sense. I think the best thing today was definitely those seamless leggings. They're probably one of the best leggings I've tried from Fabletics. Do they compare to some of my current favorite seamless leggings from other brands? No, but I do think they really tried and had some different elements. I just think overall the collection, the fabrics are just too thin and flimsy. Like I'm all for a naked feel fabric as long as it's not like saggy, and I just feel like some of these fabrics today were just not really hitting the mark for me. So let me know if you guys tried this collection, what you thought in the comments down below, and we should be on the lookout for a Skims Nike collaboration soon. So some potentially functional activewear from a Kardashian brand. They announced that months ago and it still hasn't come out yet. So hopefully we get that someday. And then we can really put it to the test, because I could tell that the activewear we tried today would not really hold up to my workouts. If you made it this far, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and subscribe because you love peach, because we all love peach. Oh, okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.